Welcome to Homefront Sit Rep with Willis
and Megs. Don't forget about Blaze.
We're just a couple of veterans having a good time talking about what's on our minds.
And maybe yours.
You can find us on Apple, Amazon, or Spotify.
Or wherever you find your favorite podcasts.
Welcome, guys, to a live Monday edition of Homefront Sit Rep. How was everybody's Monday? How was your Monday?
It's okay. You know.
Mine was a Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a Monday. I hate Mondays.
I mean, I don't really know days of the week anymore. So there's
No,
that.
I hear you. Well, tonight we have special guests. We got two special guests. We are going to be interviewing Molly and Nikki. They are both with KY Valor. Now, if you don't know what KY Valor is, you're about to find out. It's something that we didn't have when we got out of the military. As of 2018, that's when KY Valor came around. So with that being said, I'm going to bring Miss Molly and Miss Nikki on the stage. Welcome, ladies.
Hello. Thank you for having us.
You're very welcome. We are glad you guys are here and spending your Monday evening with us. So tell us a little bit. Let's start with Nikki. So let's tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved. Then we'll jump to Molly, and then we'll talk about what you guys do.
Yeah, for sure. Well, my story started with Molly, so that's how I got here. My background is in higher education. It's a bit of where I kind of stemmed from. I was looking for a career shift and was fortunate enough to be introduced to Molly, who is getting this awesome program into the air, if you will. We jokingly make the reference of like we're building while we fly in great ways, in a really, really exciting ways. And so, yeah, that's how I was brought on. My experiences has a lot to do with marketing, a lot to do with kind of people placing in a lot of ways. So this program drew me initially just because, like you both had articulated in our early conversation of, you know, there's such a huge gap, I feel like, and oftentimes with service members leaving the military and getting plugged into some really great job opportunities and post-service careers. So this was really exciting. I loved the mission behind this. I loved all that this brought to, you know, the bluegrass. So I was really excited to be a part of it in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, that's kind of where I came from a bit. I'll let Molly.
So you said higher education. What kind of a little bit more about that?
Yeah, teeny tiny small college in Kentucky. So fell in love with Kentucky in and of itself. I'm not from here, so please don't judge me too hard.
I'm not from here either. So where are you from?
I'm originally from upstate New York. Relocated here from Maryland, though. That was what drew me.
Whoa! All right, Maryland. You got to say it right. Okay, because I'm from DC and Maryland.
So, okay, I love that.
And I lived in Massachusetts for a little bit. So,
yes.
So I love to make those personal connections. So what part of Maryland?
Originally from Carroll County, Maryland. I tell people that, but my zip or my oh my gosh, my area code is still 443, which is a Maryland number. So when I call people about a Kentucky program, they tend to scratch.
I'm a 301. I'm a 301. Yeah, I'm from Moco.
Okay.
County. So
I love that.
Yeah, that's awesome. So
yeah, love the small world. Even better.
I love how and that's what we love to do about kind of these pre-interviews is making that personal connection. So, and living in Moco or Carroll County, that they are their own unique little special places and stuff like that.
It's at 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
It is.
It totally is. Always.
So that's awesome. So I didn't mean to dig in a little bit, but
no, that's okay.
And all of a sudden somebody can be like, "Oh, wait a minute! Oh, Carroll County."
Yes. Oh, I love. Yeah, Molly and I both love those personal connections.
Yeah.
All right, Miss Molly, tell us a little bit about yourself, my dear.
Well, first, I don't want Nikki to sell herself short. She is the Workforce Development Director for Valor, and she is an absolute rock star. A lot of people meet Nikki first, whether on the veteran side or the employer side, and she's been the face of the company. This is a nonprofit initiative, and she, hopefully, as folks will get to know in this podcast, but she's just great to work with. She has a lot of passion. She's a hard worker. So, she gave me some credit for getting this started, but she's the wheels that keep this thing turning. So I want to send a lot of thanks to her.
I guess she flipped her hair.
I know, right? So nonchalant.
But, to talk about myself a little bit, I'm a social worker by trade. That's kind of what got me in the business of helping people. That's what I'm passionate of doing. I'm really not from a military family per se. Both my grandparents served in the armed forces, but I'm just in the business of helping people when there's a problem. I went back to school for my doctorate in 2018 and concentrate on the reciprocity of interstate occupational licensure, specifically in social work, because I'm a social worker, but I've dabbled in lots of different disciplines. So we as social workers can learn from that. And I think it's no secret for you guys. You mentioned that you, needed to obtain MP licensure or explored that at one point. That, military folks and military spouses are some of the people that have the biggest barriers to obtaining civilian occupational licensure. So when VALO, which is a federal opportunity, came along, it really matched up with my schooling. It matched up with my professional career, and we got this thing started. So that's kind of my background of why I love what KY Valor stands for, and where it came from.
So it takes a special person to go into social work, right? So at what point in your life did you realize that that's what you want to do? And was there like a moment where you're like, this is it. This is what I want to do?
That's a tough question. I think it's probably an accumulation.
We need it for the pay. We all know that. We know, it's just like God bless our teachers and God bless anyone that does any type of civil work or anything like that.
I don't think I can narrow it down to one moment. There's a lot of different things throughout my life that I've seen. I call my previous life, I managed a center for Alzheimer and dementia care. And I saw, what families went through there. I've worked with autistic children. There's just so many needs that in specific things that people struggle with, that if I can help, whether that be one-on-one or mainly where I operate is in the policy and research arena, if I can rewrite laws or do some research that impacts a lot of people at one time, that's what I like to do. So really that's what kind of fuels my passion.
I just always find it interesting because, Willis and I, and I'm sure you all, if we ask, what did you want to do in elementary school? What did you imagine that you would do? I don't know anyone's going to be like, I'm going to be a social worker, or I'm going to be,
probably right.
So
if you would have asked me in kindergarten, I really liked the idea of being a construction worker because I thought I could have a pink hard hat. But anybody that knows me now knows that that would not be the career for me. And, I give construction workers lots of credit because I know I couldn't do it. And then it went to probably being a vet, and all the different options that folks go through. In my undergraduate of college at UK, I changed my major 4 times trying to figure out really what I wanted to do. But the common denominator through the whole thing was that I wanted to help people. I wanted to make a difference, and that's a common answer, but I found the best way that I could do that was through social work. My undergraduate degree, I landed on something that could be applied to many occupations. I have a degree in community communications and leadership development, and use that as a prerequisite for a master's and now a doctorate in social work. So,
That's awesome.
it's how do we get out into our community? How do we help people? How do we rewrite laws, do research, pave pathways to make the world a better place?
All right. So tell our listeners what KY Valor stands for.
So KY Valor stands for Kentucky Veterans Accelerated Licensure Occupational Recruitment.
All right. Now tell them what KY Valor does.
So KY Valor is an initiative started by Kentucky Science and Technology Corporation that helps veterans capitalize on what they did in their military and their military experience, and utilize that experience to find a meaningful post-service career here in the state of Kentucky.
That's awesome. So,
yeah, that's definitely awesome. Now, Nikki, you were telling me a story about one of the guys you were working with. He was in the Army. I want to say he was like supplier logistics or warehouse, and he applied for a job, and they were trying to just give him like a basic warehouse job. Can you tell that story here?
Yeah. I mean, you guys know this story better than I do. Oftentimes in civilian world, our hiring managers often think, oh, well, you have the bachelor's degree, check, you could do this job. When we all know somebody who does the job from the military side may not have the education, but they could run circles around a college grad. And so we had a gentleman who I was reaching out to, a company wanted to kind of present him as a great candidate for this role, and was on the phone with the hiring manager. And she said, well, I have a warehouse position. And the warehouse position paid not well. I'll just say that as politely as I can. And so I remember saying to her, well, ma'am, I said, to be completely honest with you, I said, the gentleman I'm going to bring to you, or I was going to bring to you, I can sometimes be Northern, so I had to kind of catch myself a little bit. And I essentially said, he, helped read blueprints and, oversaw a $1.2 million budget. He oversaw 200 people. He helped get a site built on foreign soil. So he was operating under not English speaking, people to get these connections. And so respectfully, the guy I'm trying to bring your way is worth far more than just operating a assembly line. He's way more qualified than that. And she kind of had a humbled moment. And she said, so he could probably lead the warehouse. I said, yes, he could. And so we hear a lot of that story, unfortunately, with both on the military side, but then also the employers that just don't know. They think there's a box check that needs to happen. And in reality, that's a very old-fashioned way of thinking about somebody as a candidate for a job. So, we've got quite a few stories like that for sure.
Yeah, and I was telling you the story about my stepdad. He was in the military. He was telecommunications, so basically running telephone lines and setting up, like in the FOP, he would set up the comm for the whole thing. Well, when he got out of the military, he went to try to get a job at AT&T, old Ma Bell. And they're like, well, your military service doesn't translate to what you're going to learn here. So he's like, all right, well, screw you then. So he never went back. Now, if Valor was around back then, he could have went after you guys and said, all right, this is what I do. And then he probably could have had a really good paying job at AT&T.
Yeah.
So I love that your mission, and I want to make sure you guys get the recognition that you guys deserve, because you're out there traveling all over the country. You don't just stay within Kentucky. You go to bases all over the United States. And what I can understand, if I remember correctly, is you deal with a lot of people, employers from the state of Kentucky. So basically what you're doing is you're going out to different bases across the country and trying to bring military service members back to Kentucky. Is that correct?
Yep. Yep.
That's exactly right. Yeah. How it works is, currently I'm the one traveling out of state right now, but a little plug here. We are hiring for Kentucky Valor. So we're trying to expand to have someone else help with travel and to have a permanent person at both Fort Knox and Fort Campbell. So there's my little pitch there if anybody's interested. But how it works is currently I've been the one traveling. Nikki's been helping cover in-state bases, and this is entirely a veteran-led initiative. Once we meet you, we want to take some information down, what you did in the military, what you're looking to do once you get out, if you even know. Sometimes we're finding that folks need a little bit of career coaching there, and they need to figure out what the post-service world looks like and what jobs actually may entail. And we're happy to do that. Help them get their resume ready, talk about where in Kentucky is right for them and their family, what salary they are looking to make ends meet, because that's often a big shock after leaving the military and not having your housing paid for, and having to learn how to budget in a different way. So we go through all of those steps with somebody and start figuring out what pathway is right for them. If that's involving getting a civilian licensure, we have accelerated pathways for that. So we want to eliminate the need to completely start over, like the example that you gave.
Right.
We want to give them credit for what they've done. So we have several partners throughout the state, from anywhere from institutes of higher education to businesses that help them achieve that credit in order to qualify for an occupational licensure.
So let me kind of see if I get this right. So for example, I kind of talked about when I was trying to apply as a civilian police officer coming from military police. They're like, oh, we don't know that this really, resonates, right? But at the same time, what you can pluck and pull from my military record is I wasn't just a police officer. Like, for example, I was an NCO. So therefore I had leadership, which means in the civilian world management, right? So trying to help incorporate the military to the civilian to say, listen, it's kind of like the story you just told, I had a dear friend of mine who sadly he recently passed away, but he was a supply guy and he did a phenomenal job on his own, but he ended up working with MWR. So I think it was a little bit easier because they got it. But he was like, listen, I had thousands of tons of supply I had to deal with. And I had 100 people under me. And thankfully, MWR was able to recognize that. But in a civilian side, maybe they wouldn't.
Right.
Because he was a staff sergeant, which that's nothing to knock. But people don't understand, even as a staff sergeant, how much responsibility, like we're talking about millions of dollars of shipment and things like that. So it's, to my understanding, that's kind of what you can kind of help translate.
So yes, it's kind of a both and situation. Both of what you described and what Nikki described, there tends to be a language barrier between, military jargon and HR managers at prospective companies. So, we certainly help bridge that gap and try to advocate to eliminate any underemployment and get folks jobs that they truly deserve. The other flip side of that, and to kind of back up a little bit, Kentucky Valor originated from a federal initiative called VALO that was awarded to Kentucky. Where we spent the last 4 years, our team built 44 pathways to civilian occupational licensure that already credit military education and experience, so that it's directly applicable towards licenses here in Kentucky. So those pathways already exist. We just help people, market it, we want people to know about it, and then we help them navigate it and obtain that licensure. The next step would be, hook them up with an employer on the other side. So, it's the both and pieces of that.
And
No, that's amazing.
Yeah. I'll also talk about Molly that she's very mild about this, but any one of those pathways, I know for me that we thankfully our team is really good at saying, hey, they need licensure help, and I think Molly might have them all memorized at this point, and she knows where they need to start. She knows where the starting point is for any entry point, be it somebody that was maybe a pilot early on in their military career, all the way up through somebody that literally just got off a plane 2 days ago. How do they translate that to a license in Kentucky? Molly is phenomenal at that. And I think that's something that she undersells herself about. But that is definitely something that I think is really unique for somebody to know where a starting point is. Leaving the military and saying, hey, I want to do this. How do I make this applicable to a license in civilian verbiage? To be able to have somebody who can walk you through that whole step and then say, hey, we'll also help you get a job too. We don't want you to use these licensures and leave. We want you to use these licensures and come and stay and have, a career post-service here in Kentucky. That's absolutely something
awesome.
that I think.
We're looking at the screen right now, and we've got it posted. It's Kentucky offers 150,000 job opportunities and more than 44 accelerated career pathways. And it's just really awesome that then it's like, connect with our team. Look at those numbers: 150,000 job opportunities, 44 accelerated career pathways. And I think sometimes when we get out, we try on our own because we're stubborn hard asses and we think we can do it all ourselves. And we find out that we can't. But it's really nice to know that you have a network already in play. So that's a place where you all, like, somebody can come to. So.
And for somebody that is doing this job and where to start at, regardless of where the veteran is or the service member is, that tells me that you're very passionate about what you do for our service members that are transitioning out of the military. I mean, for somebody not to get involved with you guys that are transitioning out, to me, that would be like, all right, dumbass, you need to wake up and go hook up with KY Valor, because they're gonna steer you in the right direction. And like Megan said, a lot of us veterans, we're stubborn and we don't want to ask for help. And that's kind of why what we do on this podcast is we bring organizations like yourself to the forefront that people might not even know exist. And literally how I found you guys, I was on LinkedIn. And I was scrolling through and I saw, and I kept seeing the post that was
He's from Bardstown, so don't mind.
Yeah. Well, I kept seeing the post. Well, sometimes my mouth opens before I think my thought all the way through.
Well, and he's a Marine, so that's a double strike.
Oh, man, he's just burying you.
I know, right?
That's my job. That's my job.
But
he'll give it right back the moment he gets it. So it's all right.
So Nikki, you're sharing some links here. I just saw.
Yeah, listen, we try.
You want me to bring those up on the screen? Do you want to talk about those links?
Sure. I mean, you guys are doing a great job of telling our story for us in a good way. The website is absolutely the best way to connect right off the bat. That puts you right into our database. Our team is pretty good about. Yep, you guys got it. That connect with our team right there on the website is great. It's a super helpful way to just get right in touch with us. But if you want to see, what we're about and where we've been, where we're going, all that stuff, staying up to date. Obviously, like you said, Willis, is LinkedIn is a great resource for the professional world, and we've got Facebook and Instagram, really just trying to harness all efforts that we can to just kind of spread the word that we exist to various different groups and various different populations. So yeah, those are in there. Feel free to share those. I think I did the right links. I always question them on these things, so I apologize if it leads you to my Facebook personal. No, I'm teasing. It shouldn't.
No, we'll check them out before we post them in the comments. That way, people can actually go down there in the comments and find them. So yeah. So so 2018 is when the law was passed that your military service would translate into civilian sector. So is that when you guys were formed?
So 2018 was actually a federal Department of Labor grant called VALO, which that's where Valor came from. And VALO stood for Veterans Accelerated Learning for Licensed Occupations. And Kentucky was one of 3 states that was awarded that grant, where, the Department of Labor tasked us with creating these accelerated pathways. It was a pilot of sorts. They knew that it was an issue. They knew that folks were essentially having to start over after exiting out of the military, and they wanted a state to go and figure out how to fix that. And Kentucky was one of 3 states to do that, and that's how we created these pathways that we have mentioned. So we spent the last 4 years doing that. Then a couple caveats under that federal initiative, because it was a pilot program and because it derived from DOL versus DOD, we weren't allowed to do 3 things. We weren't allowed to actually run folks through the pathways. We just had to create them and document how we did it. We couldn't spend an exorbitant amount of time marketing that they exist, and we could not create the pathways to be specifically utilized for veteran spouses, because they had to bridge what was taught and done in the military to how occupations are regulated in the state of Kentucky. So, when that grant ended in 2022, what good is it that Kentucky is sitting on this gold mine for service members if nobody's utilizing it and nobody knows about it? So really, that's how Kentucky Valor was born, to do those 3 things that we couldn't the first time around.
Well, see, that's amazing. I'm glad when when 22 ended the grant and you guys picked up where that left off and created something that's amazing, because like you said, why would you sit on a wealth of knowledge and not share that? I mean, once again, that's kind of what we want to do, is bring that out there in the forefront, because there's a lot of veteran service organizations out there that people know about, and then there's these grassroots ones that nobody knows about, and that's what we look for. We look for the grassroots ones and bring them to the forefront, because they are out there helping people. And one of our models is one veteran at a time. That's what we look at. If you help one veteran today, that veteran is going to turn around and help somebody tomorrow. And that's what you guys are doing. You're helping one veteran at a time, maybe on a little bit of a bigger scale than one at a time, but you're still doing one at a time. So
I think Nikki would disagree with her one at a time phone calls that she
No, those are the best. But like you said, I think we've gotten more. I mean, and we haven't even been around that long, but we get referrals, and that's the best compliment to what we're doing. I was actually at a job fair at Fort Knox and was able to talk to some of the retirees that were coming out of there, and it was able to see a guy that we knew there. And I was like, hey, it's great to see you. He gets out in December, so we've got some time. And it was great to know what he was looking to do and be able to articulate to him. And the cool thing was he brought over 3 of his buddies. He was like, hey, they're going to help you. They're great. You got to talk to them, take their card, so that to me means we're doing what we're saying we're going to do on both sides. That's so important. So yeah, absolutely. That's always good to hear. Referrals are always
really exciting for me to hear about you all, because I've been a part of different veteran service organizations, and anytime somebody comes to me, like sometimes where they're like, I just need a job.
Yeah.
And I'm like, maybe I've heard something somewhere along the line, but it's not even putting them to their full capacity. I have a dear friend of mine, his son was a ranger, right? So talking about he knows, similar to Willis' situation.
Yeah.
As far as he was trained to go do missions and do all this other stuff. But really, in lies a lot of other amazing skills. Yeah. And talk about a hard worker. Like you tell him, and he will be your grunt. Like he will go out there and do whatever. And it's just sad that he's struggling to find a job where he desperately wants one. And now he's recently had a kid and recently got married and all that jazz. And he still struggles. He served our country amazingly well. Mm-hmm. And he is a workhorse. Yeah. And I think he would be an absolute, just nothing. If somebody just gives him a chance and takes him on,
Yep.
But because his resume just shows infantry or ranger, they're like, we don't know what to do with you.
Yeah.
Like literally, you could go tell this guy to go pick up those 1,000 boxes and move them over 10
Right.
feet, and he'd go.
Well,
No
KY
problem.
Valor's hiring.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Well,
So
but I mean,
And it's really never too late to reach out to us. You know, we work a lot with transition assistant programs, and we're on bases a lot. But you know, I got a phone call the other day on my way to Frankfurt of a guy I had talked to, you know, 9 months ago, that he's like, oh, I'm set with a job. He actually took a job outside of Fort Campbell in Tennessee, and he called me up and was like, I hate it, can you help me find something new? And we're happy to help. You know, no matter what we're doing, we're happy to meet you where you're at, whether that's switching careers, whether that's freshly coming out.
my phone call tonight is going to be to him to say,
please send them our way. You know, we mentioned earlier, we'll help, you know, your spouse find a job. You know, if your spouse wants to navigate one of those pathways, we will help them get licensed and hook them up with an employer. We had a guy that's currently navigating one of our home inspector pathways that, by the way, that one is open to anyone regardless of MOS. So if infantry guys, you know, from start to finish want to open their own business being a home inspector, that's an option. And that's what
it's funny you mentioned home inspector, because literally my brother, he didn't serve, and then my mom's boyfriend, who also didn't serve, they've kind of realized home inspector is a great pathway.
It is. It is open to anyone.
Yeah. You know, and what's nice is anyone that has ever bought a house knows the home inspectors, that's their own schedule.
Yeah.
So it is, you know, once you get through the classes and all that good jazz, you really are your own boss in a sense. You're underneath the company and stuff like that.
All right, I'm going to say something.
Oh, sorry, Willis. I was just going to add, the home inspector guy in particular, he called and said, my son's sitting in my basement playing video games. Can you please help him get a job? And, you know, we hooked him up with an electrician pathway. So we want to help.
You work with families, spouses, everything.
So anybody, wherever you're at, whatever your career goals are, you know, we'll help you get there.
That's a huge.
Do you have one for podcasters?
Yeah.
We can work on it. We know a guy and a gal now. We could probably get you connected.
Yeah, there you go. So we got a couple listeners watching right now. The first one is Doc, aka Thomas Reardon. He says, hello, everyone. He says, thank you all for what you're doing. And then Michael, he is out of West Virginia. He's the commander of the Patriot Guard out there, and he said thank you all for doing such work for all of our warriors. So that's pretty awesome. And then if you are watching out there, please leave a comment. If you got questions, you can ask them here, or you can go onto their website, kyvalor.com, hit connect with our team. Like literally, you scroll down every section, it says connect with our team. So you can just click on one of those buttons and it will connect you. You can find them on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. Just reach out to them. As you can tell, they're easy to talk to. They are very passionate about what they do. And I'm super excited that we got to connect and we were able to bring you guys to the forefront and let people know that you guys are out there and what you are doing. So with that being said, we do have to pay bills, so I'm going to throw our sponsor on and just throw a commercial out real quick. We'll be right back.
Owner of Talon Talents here, and I just want to say that we are ecstatic to be a major sponsor of Homefront SitRep, a community that is ran by veterans and made for veterans. So thank you for tuning in. Talon Talents was formed in order to create a music scene that was together in the form of a collective, so that no one has to do everything on their own. And guess what? We've been doing this for free for over a year. So please go and check out Talon Talents through Facebook or through our official website at www.talontalents.com. We'd love to hear from you. veteran-owned and operated podcast just for you.
All right, we're back, and I want to say thank you to talenttalents.com for being a sponsor of ours. We are grateful for you guys. He's the one that created our intro video or our outro video, and he's working on some other things for us. And Doc reached out.
So that being said, if you all ever need any graphic design or anything like that, feel free to reach out to him. He's super veteran friendly, and he's all about paying it forward. So.
And then Doc says, how do we refer other veterans to you?
The best way would be to direct them to the website. If they can just fill out that form, that comes directly to us in our KY Valor email. And that's the easiest way, kyvalor.com.
So let's
all right. So
let's bring it up on the screen and I'll show you. All right, Doc, I'm gonna share my screen with you and you can watch me walk through it. So we are going to share screen. Come on. It might decide to do it. All right, Doc. So you go to kyvalor.com.
Scroll all the way to the top.
So this is what you'll see when you get there, Doc. And then you scroll down where it says connect with our team. You click that, and then it says get connected with us. They fill out the information here, and we'll send to Nikki or Molly or the team, and they will get connected that way.
Does that look about right?
That's exactly right.
All right.
Good to know what it looks like on the other side sometimes. We never see that side. We always get the other side.
Yeah, definitely. No, I'm super excited that we got to have you guys on here and talk about what you guys do and see how passionate you guys are. And if me and Megan can help you guys in any way, feel free to reach out to us at any time. I think, Nikki, you have my number, right? My phone number.
Yes, sir.
You can reach out to me anytime. If you want, you can give it to Molly. Molly can reach out.
And feel free to share on our page anything if you've got an event or something going on.
Yeah.
We love to pay it forward.
Because I know you guys are traveling quite a bit.
We don't sit.
Yeah, I know, right? Now, are you guys going to be in town around November the 11th? I know you guys are not local to this area, but I know somebody's in Lexington. Am I correct on that?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Are you both in Lexington?
Yeah.
Yep.
So November the 11th here in Louisville at the St. Matthew's Mission Barbecue.
Yeah.
They're having a big Veterans Day thing for the 30th anniversary of Black Hawk Down. So if you guys want to come and hang out, we're going to be doing a live that day. We can introduce you to a lot of the veterans and service members down here. If you want, that's up to you.
We heard about that. That's on our calendar to get to for that day. There's also I think a festival and the parade that day too. Louisville's hopping that day.
Yes, Louisville is popping that day. It was Mayor Fisher a few years back started the whole Week of Valor kind of thing, and I was very fortunate to be on kind of the ground up with a previous veteran organization I was with, and everyone can have their opinion of Mayor Fisher. I'm not getting into politics, but one thing that he did that was awesome was he started the Week of Valor. And at the time, I was with VCAL, which is the Veteran Coalition Alliance of Louisville, and I was there on the ground up. And so it's really awesome what Louisville does for the veterans nowadays. So, but if you can make it out to Mission Barbecue, if you can't, if there's any literature you'd like Willis and I to pass along that we could have on our hand, but we'd love for you to come out because there's going to be a Black Hawk, there's going to be Coast Guard boats, there's going to be all
kinds of Mission Barbecue, I think.
We will take care of you once you are there, no problem. So.
Yeah, definitely. So,
but
we'll be there doing a live. Now, Megan will start out in Shelbyville. Yep. We have
first thing in the morning.
So we're going to have a dual kind of podcast. We'll have a remote podcast. So Shelby Christian Church in Shelbyville is hosting an event called Serving Up Christ with Veterans. So we're going to have people there that'll come on, but we're also going to be doing the live at Mission Barbecue that day. At noon, we will have, I believe, Rick Ames singing the national anthem. He is with Louisville Local Entertainment. So he'll be singing the national anthem that day at noon. So, you guys, I would love to meet you guys in person, shake your hands, and
we'd love to do so what we're going to do throughout the day is like impromptu lives.
Yeah.
Love that.
So, Yeah.
Will you have a
that-
tiny mic or a real? No.
well, I have a tiny mic. I got two of
Okay.
them, wireless mics.
Everything
Well,
he has. is tiny.
You know what I'm talking about. She threw you right under that bus.
I know. If she wasn't my
Abby just
sister, I'd probably
walked right into it. Just
listen here, Linda. I'm gonna have Blaze eat you. I know
That's
you
what
guys
I
got a
was
hard
talking
stop at 7:45. Am I correct on that?
Yeah.
So
all right.
we're gonna go ahead and let you guys go. But before you go, do you have anything else to say before we let you go?
Mm-mm.
I think we covered it. I want to thank you both for your service and your family's sacrifice to this country. And, a big reason of why we do what we do is to give back. Folks like yourselves have served, and now it's time for us to serve you. So anybody that, you all know, or any of the listeners on that could utilize us, or know somebody that is seeking employment or a better job or a license, we're happy to help. We're happy. Our informal motto at this point is help us help you. So thank you really for having us on and letting us, just market that this is an opportunity available to folks.
And thank you for saying that it's not just about if you need a job. Sometimes you need a better job, right? You don't know. You
Or a
don't think
career.
that you get to do that. That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, ladies,
Yeah.
we thank you again, and hopefully
you,
we'll see
guys.
you at Mission Barbecue on November the 11th.
Sounds
And we can't wait to meet you in person. And
Yeah.
hopefully you have a great night. And we will send everybody your way that we can.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
You
Thanks
guys
so
rock.
much for
Thank
having us.
you.
You're
All
very
right.
welcome. Have a
Thank
great
you. Y'all
night.
have a
See you
great night.
next month.
All
All
right.
right. Sounds good.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
How cool was that?
That was cool.
Super, super nice ladies. And the fact that they incorporate families into that as well,
That I didn't know.
that's amazing.
Like, I mean, I'll be honest, like kind of reading their website, I didn't even know that. So that was really cool that they threw that out there. So
Yeah,
for our listeners to know that.
it's stupid cool.
Yeah, I mean, I suck at reading. That's one of my downfalls. So it might be in there. So I apologize, ladies, if it is in there and I misread it. But no, that I appreciate that they said that, and I think it's really, really important that we've always talked about how important is it to incorporate the family.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and then the other thing that I didn't know was you don't have to be jobless. You could just be trying to get a better job,
Right.
and they'd help with that too.
Yeah,
That's key. Like,
I think it is super key that, and she even said that no matter how long you've been out of the military service,
mhm.
they'll still help you.
Yeah.
So if you've been out for 20 years and you want to change jobs, reach out to them. Say, hey, this is what I do now. This is what I did then. And they will direct you in the right path and help send you on the way of doing whatever you want to do.
Yeah,
So,
or if you're super stubborn, so you just picked a job because you're like, I have to have a job.
yeah.
And you're
Kinda like
going
me.
down, and then you're going down that rabbit hole of like, this isn't for me. They're there for you too.
Yeah, so definitely reach out to kyvalor.com. Go on there, scroll down where it says connect with our team,
Kinda like we
connect
showed
with
on
them. And I tell you what, or you can go to Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and go on there and find KY Valor. Like I said, it's been around. It started out, like she said, it started out as a grant from the government. 3 states were doing it. And when it ended in 2018 or 2022, she said, I believe,
Yeah.
when it ended, they're like, well, what do we do with this wealth of knowledge that we got? And that's where KY Valor came from, because they wanted to share that. And now they were able to share that information. And they created the pathways. Why waste something which I never really understood about the government. They do stuff like that, and then they're, oh, well, let's just throw it away. When in reality, what they could do is spread that to every state in America, and have the same pathway within every state.
I will say that's also where it's different state by state, because sometimes the government tries to do that, but then the state goes, nah.
Yeah.
Which is a shame in and of itself. So,
well, Miss Candace, thank you. And that's the whole purpose of this podcast, is giving the information and avenues out there through the podcast. And I'm gonna be modest. It's an okay podcast. No, I love all of our faithful people that watch us and share us, and like Megan and I say all the time, if we can just help one veteran, that's all that matters. One veteran at a time. If I can help 20, great. If I can help 100, even better. But one veteran at a time, that's all that matters.
Because you never know when that one is going to be the one that helps 100.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look at Doc. Doc himself is an amazing guy. If you know Doc, you know he's amazing. Doc is now helping other veterans overcome what they're going through. And it started out with just Doc. And now look at what Doc does. It's just amazing to see the transformation that helping one person, how they help other people. It's just, man, I love it. And I will do this podcast until I can't walk up and down my bunker stairs here to do it. Then I'll just move everything upstairs. And I got my cane and I'm crumped over.
We'll get you one of those like chair lift things.
Give me the button too. Help! I fall and I can't get up.
Life alert! Life alert!
Life alert! Yeah. So no, I love it, and as long as we can find organizations out there that are helping our brothers, our sisters help them with the demons, or like in this case, find a career path that's suited for them.
Find a purpose.
Yeah, find a purpose. And that's what they do. They help transitioning service members find a purpose. Hell, I might even apply for whatever job they got.
I know, right? Like it's almost like it'd be silly not to at this point.
I mean, they're talking about
reach out to them.
They're talking about permanent at,
like I said, 150,000 open jobs.
Yeah.
Imagine if you could, you're kind of just stuck in a rut right now.
Yeah.
Reach out to them. You'd be surprised. Maybe, who knows?
So it says the pathways lead to 55 licensed, certified occupation covering more than 180 military occupational skills. So MOS is out there. That's freaking amazing in itself.
That's way better than when I try to go through like ATARs and try to reconvert my MOS to what is civilian college. Oh God, that was a mess.
So with like me, when I got out of the military, I was a squad leader. So I had my 3 team leaders, and then they had 3 guys underneath of them. So I had 12 people. And I was a squad leader, and I had to delegate to my team leaders, who then delegated to their squad members or their teammates. And that would have been translated over as a managerial. Yeah, I had to talk through. Yeah, I had to get the crowns out of my mouth. But yeah, so that would have translated. But when I got out, there was nothing like this available for us. And I have a lot of military friends that are active. I have a lot of military friends that are veterans. And if this helps those, then I'm stoked. And I know you are.
Oh, beyond stoked. Because like I said, I could have only dreamed something like this.
Blaze, not so much.
Yeah, he's doing self-care.
Yeah, he's doing self-care.
But he's actually on his bed. So
I love it. And he knows he's on the screen too.
Yes, he does. I think he does. But that's also why he's hiding his head.
Yeah,
so, Sorry.
But so do you guys out there that are faithful watchers and listeners, do y'all have any questions for us? And I know James Stevens, I don't know if he's still watching or not. He said, would you be interested in covering the youth hunt? Now, what he means by that is, would I be interested in having him on the podcast to talk about the youth hunt? There he is, speaking of him. So you talking, when is the youth hunt that you guys have at 03 there, James?
And while he's getting ready to answer, I just want to throw it out there again. If you all hear of any great organization, please pass it along and give us a connect. We love talking to people, and we love trying to bring new and different organizations on. So if you have a personal connection with one in particular, please reach out to us.
Yeah, if you didn't catch Megan's live on Saturday with James Stevens and the bunch over there at 03 Operation Odyssey Outdoors, you need to check it out. Megan had 03 on. Then they were also is it MP Company 525, James, you said? Is it 525?
That was 527.
It might be 527. So the youth hunt at Operation Outdoors, Odyssey Outdoors, is 12th through the 15th. Is that this month, October? Thursday through Sunday?
Yeah, it's 527 MP Company. Shout out
Or
to them.
527.
Yeah.
So shout out to 527 MP Company. Is that this month, James? October 12th through the 15th? All right, so October 12th through the 15th, 03, Operation Odyssey Outdoors. You can find them on Facebook. They are having a youth hunt the 12th through the 15th. Get in contact with James Stevens or go to Operation Odyssey Outdoors. They have a private group on Facebook. I'm sure there is an event somewhere that they created for the youth hunt if you want to take your children. Now, what's the age limit for a youth hunt, James? And you guys, he's talking in the comments at the present moment in time, so you can see him typing in the comments down there.
And so, meanwhile, with Doc, can employers reach out to them and ask if they have people for their open positions? I would highly recommend, if you're an employer, to contact them.
Yeah, definitely.
And say that, hey, we're looking to be a part of your bank. So I'm sure that they would be completely open to that. And as far as James Stevens and Jimmy goes, I don't know if you're already booked up with that, but if you want to do a live podcast or something like that, feel free to text me and we'll see if we can't do a little impromptu
live.
Yeah. So just to give you all a shout out again. Yep, that's what I thought. Pull up on unless someone backs. Okay, yeah. So so the hunt is full, but at the same time, Jimmy, if you want, feel free to text me here in a little bit, and between Willis and I, we'll see if we can't. If you'd like a little live impromptu shout out, we can do something a little short snippet, something or other. Just make sure that if there's any kiddos involved, parents are okay with it. That would be my only request.
Well, I would say let's not have kiddos on the screen.
Okay.
Just for liability reasons. I would say probably no kiddos on the live at all.
Okay.
You could do parents, but no, I would say no to the kiddos, just for legal reasons, liability and stuff like that.
Well, I just didn't know if there's like a picture or they're off in the background playing or something like that.
Yeah, maybe something like that, but not up on the screen.
No, yeah.
And then Michael says Warriors in the field. Elkin, I got to bring it up here because my eyesight is not as good as it used to be. Warriors in the field, Elkins, West Virginia, Operation Hero Support. West Virginia, both organizations here in God's country. Oh, that's awesome. If you can text those to me, Michael, you got my number, I believe. Text those to me and we will reach out to them. We do have somebody coming up from Virginia, Bristol, Virginia, coming up soon. He's with Wayward Warrior Ranch in Bristol. I'm excited about that because they do equine therapy. He's got a property out there in Bristol, Virginia. So we're going to have him on soon. And then I'm going to go ahead and give you a rundown of some of our other ones that we got coming up. All right. So the 15th, we have Wayward Warrior Ranch. I don't know if that'll be live or recorded. It might be recorded. So this one will definitely be live. We talked about it the other day. Hero Strong. All right, thank you, Michael. Hero Strong. If you don't know what Hero Strong is, Hero Strong, they support police officers, first responders, military veterans. David Rubin is the founder of that. super cool guy. I've talked to him several times, and you can follow him on Facebook. Um, really super cool. Then we have on the 22nd, we have comedian Jamie Utley. He is a military veteran, super funny guy. Then on Monday the 23rd, we have Aaron Cornett, who is a hypnotherapist.
Where Willis is convinced he's going to get me to cluck like a chicken.
Yeah, I'm going to get her to cluck like a chicken. Then October the 29th, you can count on the Colonel. Carl Truman will be on here. Then we have a super cool thing with Triple Threat Vets podcast. We're going to be interviewing these guys. There's 4 guys. How they came up with Triple Threat, I don't know, but I like it. It's kind of like
I think they said they started with 3 of them.
It might have, and then added a 4th.
Yeah.
And then we got,
I think it's 2 Navy, 1 Air Force, 1 Army.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Then November 5th, which is Megan Carr Day in Louisville. Had to throw that out. We're going to have.
It's actually a real thing.
It is. The mayor of Louisville says so. We're going to have canines for the front line, Missouri. And so that started out in Maine?
Yep.
And the guy moved back to Missouri, started a chapter there.
It's from Maine, went to Missouri, left Missouri, go to Maine to do this program, and now he's so stoked about the program, he's bringing it to Missouri.
Yeah, so that's super cool. Then Monday the 6th, November the 6th, we have Cletus Evans, Marine Corps League, Toys for Tots.
Oh,
he does a little bit of everything. He's also
dude is not in touch with anything.
Yeah, he's also the voice of Meade County Green Wave. He's the voice of the football team there. He does a little bit of everything. So we do have some open dates coming up, but they are filling up fast. We got November the 12th, 13th, a few other dates. So yeah, reach out to us. Megan and I, we will be taking a break, mental health break, just about a 2-week break. So we're going to bank some. We will have episodes coming out during that time. But right around the holidays, we're going to take a 2-week break. We probably will right before, the week before Christmas, take a break there, and then start back at the beginning of the year. But we will have some maybe some impromptu lives, just depending on what we got going on. And it might just be Megan. It might just be me. It could be both of us. It could just be Blaze. Hey, wouldn't you watch Blaze?
I was gonna put Blaze just like here.
Yeah, just have Blaze on there.
Blaze cam.
Yeah, have Blaze on there.
And trust me, I talk to him like a human, so you all can too. And he'd probably just sit there and look at you.
He'd probably just sit there and listen to you guys.
Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Like he's kind of doing right
now.
Kind of
like he's doing right now.
Yeah. So anyhow, guys, thank you for coming on here. Or ladies too. I don't know who. I just know guys have commented. No ladies have commented yet. I don't know if Susan's watching with what?
No ladies have commented.
Who commented? Oh, Candace. Sorry, I forgot Candace had commented earlier. I don't know if she's still on here or not. Sorry, Candace. There she is. I'm sorry, Candace.
Hey, how do we show that?
Just click on it.
There you go.
I'm sorry, Candace. But yeah, Candace is on here. So thank you, ladies and gents, for watching. And like, I know you will. Trust me. You got like a mind like an elephant.
Hang on. We gotta do this one more, and then we'll wrap it up.
That hurts my feelings. I need my red crayons. So if you're on here right now, there's 5 people watching. Leave a comment down here. Say hi to Meg and I. And we'll hang out for a few more minutes. I ain't got nothing better to do at the present moment in time. Do you?
No.
I mean, it's Monday night. It's podcast night.
Is there football? But I don't even.
I mean, there is Monday night football, but
I don't even know.
My Ravens lost. My Cardinals beat Notre Dame. That was awesome. Now, the sad thing about that, though, I am a Notre Dame fan. I have been since I was itty bitty.
How did that come about?
I don't know. I have always been a Notre Dame fan. I guess it's the lore because that's the only thing that came on TV back then when I was growing up was Notre Dame.
Okay.
So I just, Michael says WWE's on. I used to be a big fan of WWE back in the day. Now, my cousin, Michael Todd Stratton, used to be Todd Morton. So if you remember the Rock and Roll Express, Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson, when Robert went out, I think he had some eye problems. They brought in Todd as Ricky's brother, I believe, or cousin. Well, we used to watch USWA and all those, and then they went to WCW. So yeah, Rock and Roll Express. I used to watch wrestling all the time, but then I kind of
That explains a lot.
listen here. Captain, this ain't no power drive.
Hey, if my buddy Alex is listening, he's a dear friend of mine. He was actually one of my dispatchers, and anyone that was a police officer know to love your dispatchers. If he's listening, he will be the first one to jump on here and defend you in your wrestling love. So shout out to Alex. If you're listening, go ahead and give me shit for giving him shit.
Is it Alex?
Alex Gonzalez.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah. No, he's a big fan. He's actually from Bronx, New York originally. Now lives in Massachusetts. But it was something I always teased about him. But the one thing that we do have in common is go Redskins, not Commanders. So
Yeah, definitely go Redskins. I
hail to the Redskins. Hail.
This whole let's not offend somebody.
Well, so I'm excited. They're actually talking about switching it back.
I heard because the people complained, and I think it's freaking amazing.
Okay, so do you know the whole story behind that?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so literally the owner brought in the scout, and the scout was of Native American descent.
Right.
And he literally helped build the team from the ground up.
Right.
So as a homage to him, homage, whatever.
Yeah.
That's why he named it the Redskins. And the guy was overwhelmed and was nothing but appreciative.
Yeah.
He didn't go, hold on a second, which he could have.
Yeah.
No, he said, thank you so much for recognizing my people and all that they do. So Doc says the Packers game is on. Peace out. I knew someone was going to say something. But yeah, no, so that was the big thing.
Love you, Doc.
Yeah, I love you, Doc. But that was the big thing about Redskins. It was actually to pay honor.
Yeah.
Same thing with Florida State.
Yeah, Florida State Seminoles. Yeah.
Florida State is. Yeah. I'm a big fan of Florida State.
Cleveland Indians.
I had family that went to Florida State, and the Florida State Seminoles are the ones that jumped in when all that started to happen.
Yeah.
They said, please do not change it. The whole tribe came in and said, please do not change it.
Florida State can't change it.
Yeah, it was stupid. Okay, let me mind my mouth. It was people that didn't know what they were talking about that all of a sudden wanted to jump up and down about the Redskins. Yeah. And they don't even know the history of it.
Well, it's today's world. They're like, oh, well, that's offensive to somebody. You know what? It was that way for many, many moons, and it's going to be that way for many more moons. If you're offended because somebody called you out on your bullshit, go sit in a fucking corner somewhere. That's the way I feel about it.
Yeah, but again, the whole Redskin thing was,
it's paying homage to the guy.
It was paying homage to the guy. It was also like, we still call each other rednecks and shit like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that maybe they couldn't come up with that was once upon a time the talk about was maybe doing the local tribe or whatever his tribe was, which I get that. That's where it's a little bit different with Seminoles. But this guy busted his ass for the fact in that era for the owner to do that was pretty badass. Yeah. So my girls even know Hail to the Redskins song,
That's
Hail
awesome.
Victory, Braves on the warpath, fight for all you see.
Damn Washington. But anyhow, guys, thank you for spending your Monday night with Megan and I. We appreciate it. Candace says, "Sing it, Megan."
No,
Uh,
no, I didn't really. I'm trying to save your all eardrums because that'd be bad.
Yeah, definitely. So I am going to take this off.
You didn't have to agree so quick.
You know you love me.
Hang on, where's that spoon?
Oh, it's. I don't know. I don't see it. It's gone. Here, I'll give you it.
Oh, he's got drill bits. Here we go.
Here, this is even better.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, hellfire and damnation. But anyway, like Megan and I always say, stay safe out there.
And we
got
got
your
yours
six. Thanks for listening. Suggestions and comments are always welcome.
Discrimination will never be tolerated.
Cannot wait to have another great show with you all.
Don't forget, you can find us on Apple, Amazon, Spotify,
or wherever you get your favorite podcast. Stay safe out there. We got your six.